Basic concepts concerning testing of hypotheses. Introduction. The testing of hypotheses is an important process in research that allows for the evaluation of potential relationships between variables. In this note, we will explore the basic concepts concerning the testing of hypotheses, their relevance to Islam, and their application in different fields of study. In Islam, the importance of seeking knowledge and using reason to arrive at the truth is emphasized. The Quran states, "Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of the night and the day are signs for those of understanding." Surah Al-Imran 3-190. Similarly, the Prophet Muhammad, SAW, is reported to have said, "The seeking of knowledge is obligatory upon every Muslim." Al-Tirmidhi, Hadith 74. The testing of hypotheses involves several key concepts, including the null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, level of significance, and test statistic. The null hypothesis is a statement that there is no significant relationship between variables, while the alternative hypothesis is a statement that there is a significant relationship between variables. The level of significance is the probability of making a type I error, which is rejecting the null hypothesis when it is actually true. The test statistic is a measure of the difference between the observed data and the expected data under the null hypothesis. In Islam, the importance of verifying claims through evidence and reasoning is emphasized. The Quran states, "And say, truth has come, and falsehood has departed." Indeed is falsehood, by nature, ever bound to depart. Surah Al-Isra 1781. Similarly, the Prophet Muhammad, SAW, is reported to have said, "Do not accept anything I say unless you know it to be true." Al-Tirmidhi, Hadith 2662. The testing of hypotheses is used in different fields of study, including science, social sciences, and humanities. In science, the testing of hypotheses is used to evaluate the validity of theories and to make predictions about natural phenomena. In social sciences, the testing of hypotheses is used to evaluate relationships between variables, while in humanities, the testing of hypotheses is used to evaluate the significance of cultural artifacts and expressions. Conclusion. In conclusion, the testing of hypotheses is an important process in research that allows for the evaluation of potential relationships between variables. In Islam, the pursuit of knowledge and the use of evidence and reasoning to arrive at the truth are highly valued. Researchers should ensure that their hypotheses are grounded in previous observations and knowledge, and that their testing is based on sound statistical principles. Procedure for hypothesis testing. Introduction. Hypothesis testing is an important process in research that allows for the evaluation of potential relationships between variables. In this note, we will explore the procedure for hypothesis testing, its relevance to Islam, and its application in different fields of study. In Islam, the importance of seeking knowledge and using reason to arrive at the truth is emphasized. The Quran states, "Read in the name of your Lord who created." Surah Al-Alaq 96-1. Similarly, the Prophet Muhammad, SAW, is reported to have said, "Seeking knowledge is a duty upon every Muslim." Al-Tirmidhi, Hadith 74. The procedure for hypothesis testing involves several key steps, including defining the research question, selecting an appropriate statistical test, setting up the null and alternative hypotheses, choosing a level of significance, collecting data, calculating the test statistic, and interpreting the results. In Islam, the importance of evidence and reasoning in arriving at the truth is emphasized. The Quran states, "O you who have believed, if there comes to you a disobedient one with information, investigate, lest you harm a people out of ignorance and become, over what you have done, regretful." Surah Al-Hujurat 49-6. Similarly, the Prophet Muhammad, SAW, is reported to have said, "A person who seeks knowledge, Allah will make easy for him the path to paradise." Muslim, Hadith 2699. The first step in hypothesis testing is defining the research question, which involves identifying the variables of interest and the nature of their relationship. The second step is selecting an appropriate statistical test, which depends on the research question and the nature of the data. The third step is setting up the null and alternative hypotheses, which involves stating the hypothesis in a clear and concise manner. The fourth step is choosing a level of significance, which is the probability of making a type I error, or rejecting the null hypothesis when it is actually true. This level of significance is typically set at 0.05 or 0.01, depending on the context of the study. The fifth step is collecting data, which involves measuring the variables of interest and recording the data. The sixth step is calculating the test statistic, which is a numerical value that summarizes the difference between the observed data and what would be expected under the null hypothesis. The seventh step is interpreting the results, which involves comparing the test statistic to a critical value and determining whether to reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. If the test statistic falls in the rejection region, the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternative hypothesis is supported. If the test statistic falls in the non-rejection region, the null hypothesis is not rejected and no conclusion can be made about the alternative hypothesis. Hypothesis testing has applications in various fields of study, including medicine, psychology, economics, and engineering. It allows researchers to evaluate the validity of their hypotheses and draw meaningful conclusions from their data. Conclusion. In conclusion, hypothesis testing is a crucial process in research that allows for the evaluation of potential relationships between variables. Its relevance to Islam is highlighted by the emphasis on seeking knowledge, using reason, and relying on evidence in arriving at the truth. By following the procedure for hypothesis testing, researchers can make informed decisions and draw meaningful conclusions from their data.